Thank you for joining us for Small Talks for Big Change, where we help simplify financial topics to help with your financial wellness. Hello, everyone out there, and thanks for tuning in with us today. We are so pumped to have one of our favorite guests on the show to talk about maximizing our savings and improving our financial wellness by trying something called, wait for it, a no spend month. Yep, you heard no spend month. Sounds crazy, right? Our guest today hosted a webinar for Patelco in January called 2025 Financial Forecast, Predict, Prepare, and Prosper. That was a lot. It's also on YouTube, so you got to check it out. And the webinar was meant to inspire starting the new year off with financial goals and planning. And our guest introduced a concept of a no-spend month to help save, and it left me a little mind-blown that this could even be achievable, but apparently it's a thing. So we had to get him here in the studio to share more with you. Andrew Farrell, ladies and gentlemen, is with us today. He is the no-spend month trendsetter that also happens to be one of Patelco's beloved community engagement specialists and educators extraordinaire. Andrew, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Every time I'm here, you introduce me with a new fun thing, and today I'm a trendsetter, and I like that.
I read a meme on Instagram. I thought of you. It read, do people who run marathons know that they don't have to? And I thought of you and this no spend thing. Like, why would you put yourself through this torture? Talk to us more about this no spend concept.
So the concept of a no spend month is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it's in the name. It is 1 month where you are not spending anything. So obviously you're still going to spend money on your needs, right? Your utilities, your rent, your mortgage, whatever it is like that. But you are taking a month to really just let go of spending money on your wants and really, really keeping the budget super tight just for 1 month. You mentioned earlier people running a marathon don't have to. Do not think about this as running a marathon. Think about it as like a 100-yard dash. You know what I mean? Because It's just 1 month. You really got to go for it hard. But then at the end of that month, you will save a ton of money. And it's not just cutting out spending on things like once, it's also cutting down on your regular spending too. So it can be like going through your pantry, going through your freezer, seeing what groceries you already have and trying to just build around those so you can cut down on grocery spending. It can also be like looking through your subscriptions. Maybe you subscribe to Netflix and Hulu and Prime and, Peacock. Pick one for the month and pause the other three so you can save that money as well. That's one idea. I personally don't do that because I watch a stupid amount of TV. But
That's your thing.
If it's my thing, yeah. So you find your thing and then you kind of try to cut down on other areas where you can afford to do so. I would say the number one rule of a no spend month, though, is that it is not flexible. No means no in a no spend. I know I hear you sigh, but no is a no spend month. This is 1 month of just pure discipline. But I find that it's actually a little bit easier that way because you're not giving yourself any gray area. You're not giving yourself any wiggle room or any areas to kind of be flexible. It's pure discipline for 1 month and you will save a ton of money. I've done it a few times myself. The first couple times I did it, I heard about it from a friend back in college. She was doing it, so I decided to hop on board as well. The first few times I cheated a bunch, so I didn't really save a lot, so it was kind of a wash. I didn't think too much of it. But the first time that I really, really committed to doing 1 month of just only need spending and nothing else, I was floored by how much money I saved. We're talking 50 to 60% of what my net income was. I was able to just put away. Think about what that number is.
Yeah.
How much you could save in just 1 month if you really, really do bare bones. And this is not intended to be something that is long term or something that you do, for a whole year. It is just 1 month to accelerate your savings and get it done. I'm doing it again next month in March. So wish me luck.
I first thought of this as a sacrifice, but after hearing you explain it that way, I could look at it like a competition.
Yeah.
And you know how competitive I am. If I looked at it 30 days, I could do this, and then you challenge me, I might be able to do this.
I feel that way too. I feel like I am very stubborn. So it's if I tell myself that I'm going to do this, I won't back down just because of my own stubbornness with myself. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a super huge sacrifice anyways. You can find plenty of things to do in a month that, will keep you occupied. and don't cost a lot of money.
Yeah. Would you recommend an accountability partner? I feel like I would need somebody just to call me out on the competition side of it.
If you can get someone on board who's willing to do it with you, that's always fun. But you also got to be calling them out too. Like if they're trying to get you to go off the track, you got to bring them in. Same with them to you.
Okay. At hearing it, it sounds so overwhelming. Everyone's response on the webinar you held in January was the same as mine. Like, what? This is even a thing? No way this is even achievable. But what would be your recommendation for approaching it and staying off track if you are just feeling kind of like, no way, completely unachievable, I can never do this?
Okay, so first thing I want to say is everything is achievable. There's no such thing. I mean, obviously within reason and with some exceptions, like it's not a huge blanket statement, but generally speaking, everything, if you can think it, you can do it. I am someone who comes from the school of thought of like, how hard can it be? Like, I feel like I have a lot of delusional confidence, I guess. Like, I look at anything and I think, okay, well, if someone can do that, then there's no reason why I cannot do that myself, you know? And I think that can also tie in with budgeting. Like, you see people who are really good with their money, being really frugal, being really disciplined, whatever it is, and you might think like, gosh, I could never do that. But the thing is, if they're doing it, they're proving that it can be done, ergo, you can do it as well. If you go into a no spend month with the mindset of like, this is going to be super hard, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to achieve this, you're already kind of putting yourself in a mindset that you're not going to be able to achieve it. So don't think about it that way. You can do it. Anybody can do it. It's just kind of about setting yourself up for success. So you asked about my recommendations for approaching a no spend month. First and foremost, I would say the number one tip is to just be intentional with your no spend month. So if you're listening to this, dear listener, and it is like the end of the month and you hear me talking about this and you think, oh, that's a good idea. Next month I'll try this. It might not work out for you because you're not planning for it. You're not making it like an actual intentional decision. You're kind of doing it on a whim. The reason that a no spend month can generate such great results is because it is hard. It requires a lot of discipline, and things that require discipline, it's back to the running metaphor. It's about training. It's about, preparing for it. So first and foremost, you want to pick the right month, a month that's going to work for you. Don't pick a month where you got a lot of birthdays or your sister's baby shower or like a vacation or anything like that. That's why I did March. I usually try to do February because it's the shortest month, but I'm going to visit my family back home this month. So March is the one month that I had nothing currently in my schedule. So March became my no spend month, which means I planned ahead of it. I wasn't going to schedule anything else for March. March is my month where I am not spending any money. And then I can start to plan other things to do for that month. So I can start to plan like free activities. Already for March, I planned a couple hikes. I planned like a picnic in Golden Gate Park with some friends. So I already have things that I'm going to be doing in the month that I have planned that I know intentionally are not going to cost money. I've also planned for things to do in April. So I have like things that do cost a little bit of money that I can look forward to down the road. And I will say the last day of February is a Friday. So February, Friday 28th, I am going out. It is my Fat Tuesday. I'm going to go hard. And then March 1st, Saturday, I will be, starting to really tighten up the budget. So, it's just about planning. It's about being intentional. And then to stay on track, I would say, it sounds kind of cheesy, but if you have a calendar and you can do like X's on the days, I'm a big fan of writing anything down, having any kind of like visual tracking of your progress. So that's one way to kind of keep yourself motivated. Making sure you're still consciously doing fun things that are free during a no spend month. I bet anybody out there has maybe like a trail by their house, like a walking trail that they've always thought like, oh, I should do that one day and never do. Or, free things. You want to plan a beach day, but you never actually do. Now is the month to do those things that don't cost money, that you're normally not doing because you are doing things that cost money. It doesn't have to be a huge sacrifice. It just has to be very, very planned and very thoughtful.
No St. Patrick's Day for you?
No St. Patrick's Day for me.
March for me.
I may have a St. Patrick's Day thing at home. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we've got some bottles at home. I might have my own little party. But no, I'm not going to do any kind of big going out bash for St. Patrick's Day.
I'm wondering too if you have an accountability partner or just a friend who you picked up the tab last time. If they pick you up during your no spend month.
There you go.
All right, Andrew. I got you in March. Okay.
Okay.
We'll go to St. Patrick's Day. We'll still do it. All right. I'm finding it hard to think about doing this with kids. what's your advice to making this work for people with kids?
Yeah, so those of you who are familiar with my work, you'll know that I am a dink, dual income, no kids. So I'm not going to pretend like my situation is the most relatable. I know a lot of listeners have children, have families, and having any kind of budget where you have to include other variables like that is just an additional challenge. That's not one that I have to face. So I want to be very respectful of that additional hurdle that some people might have when they're trying to cut back on spending or doing a no spend month. But I would say, as is with most things when it comes to your finances, it all ultimately boils down to budgeting. Yes, which also comes down to needs versus wants. So expenses for your kids, that's going to be in the needs category. And I don't mean I have kids, so now I have to buy them toys for this month and I have to take them to McDonald's or whatever. Those things you can still cut back on. Those are wants under the needs or the kids kind of umbrella. But things if they have piano lessons or dance lessons or sports or things like that cost money, that's a need. Those are things you still have to pay for to,
Those should be budgeted for.
Exactly. Yeah, that's stuff that still fits into your budget. So, it's still about cutting back while maintaining the things that, are come in with having children that fit in the needs category. I will also say, even though I do not have children, I once was a child. And I can say pretty confidently that kids do not care about how much money was spent. They care about how much fun was had. So when I was younger, we're big canoers on my dad's side of the family. So we would he has a canoe, we take it out. There's a little nature reserve 20 minutes from where we live. We take little day canoe trips. Sometimes just go down to the riverbank and splash around and have a good time, pack some snacks, and it was great. Those are some of my most favorite memories, and they were absolutely free. So there's lots of fun things that you can still do with your family that actually, again, maybe things that you wouldn't ordinarily do in a not no spend month, but now that you're trying to find creative things, just go outside and, run around with your kids. They love that stuff. There's free days you can do. I know the San Francisco Zoo, the first Wednesday of every month is a free day. Yeah, so especially if you're doing this in the summer and you've got summers off, first Wednesday of every month at SF Zoo is a free day. You can also look at other museums and things like that in your area because lots of them have free days throughout the year. Maybe you'll find that there's a place you wanted to go to that has a free day in July. So now July becomes your no spend month. You can kind of, build it around that. It all comes back to, again, planning. My mom used to do movie nights with me. So we would just put a bunch of pillows and blankets out and, watch movies all night, make popcorn, have a good time. She's made scavenger hunts for me before. So you can get creative and do really fun stuff that will keep your children entertained, build the family unit, have a game night, all those good things, totally free. And again, it's just 1 month of having to really be creative and intentional like this.
Okay, then I got to pick a month in the summer then, or when the sun is shining, which you can probably find one.
You can find
just
one.
avoid maybe 3 of the month. I love that. That's, more memorable and enjoyable than, a trip to the mall or a shopping trip.
For sure.
Okay. I think I could do that.
You can do it.
I think I could do that. I'm a pretty good budgeter too. So it's not so much about the unexpected. It's just the sheer fact that there's so much of kid expenses. But put them in the budget is what I'm hearing.
Put them in the budget
is what I'm hearing.
Plan.
You could do that. Okay, I feel attacked on the McDonald's specifically. We do eat out a lot because it's a lot of running around. It's practice here. It's this school event here. So fast food and eating out affects our budget a ton on a monthly basis, but also just outside of having to do it for convenience, I love eating out. My family loves eating out too.
Preaching to the choir,
Andrew,
girl.
how are you doing this sacrifice on not eating out?
Yeah, it is hard. I mean, I also love eating out. I would say that is the understatement of the year for me. I'm more food motivated than I would say most people's dogs. I really, really enjoy eating. But yeah, I want to commiserate on this also because I will say it is hard. It's easy and convenient. People have busy lives, and also good food, really good food is just it's I don't want to be dramatic, but mind altering sometimes.
And we've got the best restaurants in the Bay Area. It's food sampling.
Anything you want, and it's all stuff that you or wouldn't ordinarily make it home or don't have the means to make it home. And also there's just like advertising for it everywhere. You drive around and you see billboards, you turn on the TV, you see commercials. For me, it's the targeted ads. Like I open up Instagram and they have all my data, so they know where I live, which is the Bay Area. They know what I like, which is food. And so it's always like top 10 restaurants. And it's, and I'm just, I want to go, but it's, you can't, it's a no spend month. You can't do it. It is just 1 month. It goes back to discipline at the end of the day. Pin that, maybe save it for a month where you're not doing no spend. But for this 1 month, you have to really be intentional and plan. And I will also say, because I am very into food, I talked about my targeted ads earlier. Not only am I getting like Instagram videos and reels coming my way, restaurant videos and reels coming my way, I'm also getting a lot of recipes that come my way.
Am too
you know
lately.
what I'm saying? And I see a lot of those, and it goes back to me like, oh, I should make that one day, and I save it and I never do. Now's the month to make those things. Yes, I screenshot it and it just gets lost in the void. But now is the month. If you have a bunch of recipes that are saved or ideas you've wanted to try, go through them, find the ones that most align with like what you currently have in your pantry, and then have fun that month. That's that's the kind of stuff you can make. I also want to say, in a no spend month, we are already being super disciplined when it comes to our budget, so we can maybe ease up on discipline in some other areas. In a no spend month, I'm going to say this: you have my permission to go to the grocery store and get that cheap junk food that you really, really like. For me, like, I love a Red Baron pizza. I love Trader Joe's orange chicken. I love a mozzarella stick. I love an Uncrustable. These are all like some of my comfort foods. I do not normally get them because you got to be in moderation. And I still, you still should obviously eat these foods in moderation, but you want to do what you got to do to get through this month. So if you want to indulge a little bit and have a movie night and make yourself a little frozen pizza, whatever you got to do to keep things fun, that's what you have to do. Just make sure you are spending mindfully when you're at the grocery store, getting these things that you want. Also, fun fact about a no spend month: if you have gift cards, those are in play because that is not your money that you're spending. That is money that you cannot spend anywhere else. Like if you've got a Cheesecake Factory gift card, that's not coming out of my wallet. So if you want to go out and you have that gift card, you can do so as long as you are not going over the value of the gift card. And it goes back earlier when I said no means no. If your gift card is $50 and your bill is $53.26, that is a no. You got to be very, very intentional about how much you're spending, but you still can, or if you have, back to kids again, if your kids got gift cards for Christmas or their birthdays, that is the month to go out there and use those. Yeah. It all comes down to being planning and being very mindful about how you're spending.
Have you used your holiday gift cards? I haven't touched them yet.
I haven't touched mine either.
I don't even know where they are, but that's a good.
I've got a couple that I am already planning to use for March.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I also agree of all the frozen pizzas, the Red Baron.
Red Baron is so good.
If you haven't tried it, folks.
What's your favorite snack like that?
Oh man, indulge like fast grocery store.
Grocery store, like any kind of yeah.
Big sweets person, it would probably have to be frozen aisle pizza, and it might be the Red Baron
Red
one.
Baron's
And this is
good.
why you are our favorite guest, Andrew. All right, this is going to be hard, but
you can do it.
I think I can do it. Okay, I'm going to share a stat from the New York Post from 2024 that says we're not alone on the eating out front, that Americans spend over $2,500 on eating out, which is over $200 a month. And I could easily be like $5.
I was going to say, I feel like $200, I could spend that in like one meal sometimes if I'm really going for it.
Okay, but if I saved that in a month's time, I could repurpose that for clothes and shoes. Is that what you're telling me? Because that's my thing. Yours might be subscriptions and entertainment, but
it's again, that is
5 pairs of shoes.
That is now like a net. You're in the black now, that amount. So, if you need to put that towards emergency savings, if you need to put that towards paying off debt, like whatever you need to do with that money that you're saving for, find your motivation, put it towards that. If, your credit card balances are good, your savings is healthy, and you just want a little extra money to like splurge on a vacation or a new pair of shoes or whatever, that is your prerogative. Do what you want to do. The whole point of a no spend month is just to generate a quick sum of cash to use for however you see fit.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be savings. It doesn't have to feel like sacrifice.
No.
You can look at it like competition, like I'm trying to do, or I think I can accomplish it by.
My March one is going to Japan in October. That's what this is.
But you also mentioned about being intentional. So planning and being intentional, have a purpose, and that will help you stay on track. Because I think that's the hardest part for, I think, everybody listening is the fact that it's probably not in their minds achievable with everything going on. But if you think about the end goal.
And knowing your motivation, like knowing why you're doing this, knowing what you want to put that funds to. If it is, maybe you did dig yourself in a little bit of a hole after the holidays, or you had, car issues. I have to bring it up every time because I've had a lot of them. Whatever your motivation is, just keep that front of mind as well, and that'll keep you going.
Okay, awesome. So no food for the soul for our no spend month, but you are our food for the soul in the podcast studio, Andrew.
Stop.
So if you haven't listened to or rewatched Andrew's webinar from January, check it out on Patelco's YouTube channel. You can just go to YouTube, type in Patelco Credit Union. You can find out all of our webinars, but you've got to watch that January one. You've got to see everybody's reaction in chat when he mentions this no spend month. And consider it. It's a thing. It's trending. And Andrew, thankfully, has been with us today to help us figure out if we can try and plan and achieve it, put some more money in our pocket.
You can plan and achieve it.
I know. I'm
not
still
if,
talking in the
not
past tense.
if, when. If you so choose to, but you can do it if you choose to do it. Think of it. I mean, you see ads for try this 30-day shred, whatever. It's the same thing as that. It's 1 month of just being very disciplined, very intentional. It's a sprint. But, if you can think it, you can do it.
Lots of running references today, Andrew.
We're athletes.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Andrew. We'll see you in another 3 months' time after your March No Spend month. See how
I'll
it went.
let you know how it goes.
All right, folks, it's that time to share the secret keyword for the episode, and that's no spend. NOSPEND. Hit us up at webinars@patelco.org with the keyword again. That's no spend for a chance to win a $25 e-gift card, and maybe you can use that during your no spend month. That's going to do it for season 3, episode 3, Small Talks for Big Change, where we help simplify financial topics to help with your financial wellness. We'll see you next time. Patelco Credit Union is insured by NCUA. Hey guys, thanks for watching. To subscribe, click here. To watch the next video, click here. See you next time.